Yo, yo, Sinaloa, what's up? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Hey, I'm good. I'm good, thank you. It's a nice sunny day out today. No wind today, no rain, even though we kind of need some rain, but it's nice and sunny. Feeling good. Bisbee News Network, what's up? If you guys can go hit that like button, please. Helps out the channel, guys. Yo, man, it's a little read I'm doing here. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that very much. We'll wait for a few more people to get in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. It's gonna be a long one, just like the. Uh, yeah, man, kind of. Well, I'm wearing some, light clothing, so it's kind of refreshing a little bit. But chapter 4. It's the images of America, Southern Arizona cemeteries. So we're in chapter 4 here. It's Pima County graves and cemeteries. Yes, yes, I'm in the shade. Actually, I'm under this here. Oh, you be chilling. What up? Welcome in, brother. Cool, cool, cool. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Wait to get a few more people in here, man. And now we can get started. All right. And you guys are all moderators now. So you guys can all drop your links and help grow each other's channel, guys. Got 3 in. I got 2 thumbs up, guys. Hit that like button, Mr. Chillin'. If I could get you guys to go ahead and share out the stream, I'd really appreciate it. I'll get my stream out there and get some more visitors in here. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. This is Chapter 4, Pima County Graves and Cemeteries. Okay, let's hit that like button. Come on now. Should need reminders when we go to do a live stream, guys. Come on now. Ben, what's up? Oh, I know you did. I know you did. I was reminded Mr. Chillin'. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started, guys. Almost all of the Pima County cemeteries are located within the Tucson metropolitan area. However, there are hundreds of small family cemeteries throughout the county. In cemeteries such as Evergreen and Holy Hope, areas are subdivided into smaller sections set aside for religious groups and fraternal organizations. I got 4 likes on my end, Sinaloa. We got 6, 5, and 5. Wait, 5 and 5 now. All Faith Cemetery is distinct in that the burials are in a natural desert setting, and it contains a cemetery for those of the Islamic faith. Binghamton Cemetery, established in 1899 by the Mormon Church, was named after a small settlement that at the time was separate from Tucson. There are 12 varieties of evergreen trees planted throughout Evergreen Cemetery, the largest cemetery in Pima County, with more than 30,000 instruments. Evergreen Cemetery, founded in 1907, is in a convenient location just outside of the Tucson city limits, and many remains from Tucson's earlier cemeteries were re-entered within Evergreen's manicured lawns. The first burials in Holy Hope were reburials of disinterred remains of family members who had originally been placed in what is now downtown Tucson. All right, and right here we have Ajo Cemetery. Many cemeteries have entrances flanked with an arch design designating the name of the cemetery. The arch may be constructed of metal, wood, or brick, and it stands to remind visitors that they are entering a world of those who have left this life. In its heyday, Ajo, Arizona was a primary producer of copper. Mexican miners are thought to have called the site Ajo after its abundant wild garlic, although they may have heard the Orem word Ajo, meaning red paint, and named the area for the pigment in the ore-rich rocks. Hey, friends of code. Yeah, I got 7. I got 7 thumbs up and 6 people in chat, guys. Oh, no worries. On their way to silver mines near Magdalena, Sonora, Tom Childs Sr. and his party discovered ore in the Ajo area in 1847. The Arizona Mining and Trading Company, formed by Child's friend Peter M. Brady, worked the rich surface ores in the 1880s. However, the long supply lines and lack of water discouraged large mining companies. The first person to fully develop the Ajo area was John Campbell Greenway, a Rough Rider and star Yale athlete who became general manager of the Calumet and Arizona Mining Company. Greenway located the well that still provides water to Ajo. Hey, hooray! Fun-loving couple! Snark and sass. Alright, guys. That's what I like to see, man. Everybody showing some love to each other. Throughout the Southwest and Mexico, roadside shrines mark individual deaths. People were once actually buried there, but the bodies have been removed to a cemetery, although a memorial shrine remains. Few are as beautiful and mysterious as the shrine of Santa Rita on road to Arivaca. According to one legend, when Arthur Lee, owner of the nearby Sapori Ranch, was killed due to a fall from his horse, his wife had the grotto erected. Over the years, the shrine has been maintained by the Arivaca community and individuals who feel blessed by Santa Rita's presence. Santa Rita, the patron saint of desperate causes, has been credited with several miracles. Hey, good to see you, Ben. Good to see everybody here. I appreciate y'all, man. Let's love. Let's love. This is the grave of Pablo Celaya, who was born August 27, 1930, and died February 6, 1964. His grave's inscription is in Spanish on an open book. Bartolo McCurry's tombstone, which is only partially visible behind Celaya's grave in this photograph, is the largest in the Arivaca Cemetery, and its inscriptions are in Spanish. McCur- McCurry's birthday is known, but he died on July 26, 1914, in Santa Cruz County. His grave is somewhat mysterious since almost nothing is known about this 18-year-old cowboy. Hey, Wolfman, welcome in. Goldie Preston, the largest woman in the center of the image at left, was born in Kansas in 1896 at age 21. She married Marion Tracy and became his third wife in 1927. The couple moved to Arizona. Goldie was 31 and Marion was 68 and in declining health. And in 1932, they opened Tracy's Trading Post at San Simon on the Tohono O'odham Reservation. Goldie learned to speak the Tohono O'odham language and became one of the most respected white traders on the reservation. After Marion's death in 1936, Goldie continued to run the store and married Jim Richmond. She stitched quilts to sell in the Trading Post, and her exceptional designs won many blue ribbons and cash prizes. Her applique quilts depicting Tohono O'odham daily life are magnificent fabric portraits of the Sonoran Desert and its people. Hey, welcome. I see we got a new person in chat. JM, welcome in. In the late in the late 1960s, Goldie and Jim sold Tracy's Trading Post and retired to Mesa, Arizona, where she died in 1972. By the time the word of her death reached the reservation, it was too late for people to make the long trip to attend her funeral. As a tribute to her life and friendship, O'odham friends held their own memorial service on the reservation, where she is still spoken of with respect and affection. Although Goldie is buried in Mesa, this grave in Quijotoa is typical of the small Indian community where she lived and worked. The Rincon Memorial Cemetery on Old Spanish Trail Road contains graves from the early 1900s and others as recent as 2009. It has a beautiful view from a hilltop, and the majority of graves look east to the Rincon Mountains. Many of the graves belong to those who were ranchers in the area. The inscription on this grave says it all. Hey, Alex, welcome in, brother. The barely legible inscription on Gilbert Acosta's gravestone attests to the fact that he is gone but not forgotten. Acosta was born in Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico in 1906 but spent most of his life ranching in the Rincon area. He died in 1984. And you guys go ahead and drop each other's links, guys. Help each other's channels out. Hell, if you guys can, if you guys are over the 500, I believe, which allows you a community page. If you guys want to share it to your community page, I'd appreciate it to help get me some more visitors to my channel. Oh yeah, 1984. Awesome, man. Alrighty. I don't know if you guys have been to Tucson, but you guys probably have seen this building there before. Mission San Javier's Xavier's interior is filled with beautiful statuary and murals. The church still ministers to the religious needs of its parishioners, who are predominantly members of the Tohono O'odham tribe. Some 200,000 visitors come each year to view what is widely considered to be the finest example of Spanish colonial architecture in the United States. The current church dates from the late 1700s, when Franciscan missionary Fray Juan Bautista Valderrain hired architect Ignacio Gaona and a large workforce of O'odham to build it. With the Gaston Purchase of 1854, the mission became part of the United States. In 1859, it became part of the Diocese of Santa Fe. In 1866, the Tucson became a diocese and regular services were held at the mission. Oh, that's all in Latin there. San Xavier grounds contain a small mausoleum where two priests from Mission Tumacacari are buried. On the morning of February 21st, 1935, Mass was said at Tumacacari by Reverend Francis Bree over the remains of two pioneer Franciscan priests. Then the remains of Padre Baltazar Carrillo and Padre Narciso Gutierrez were escorted by three National Park Service employees from San Jose de Tumacacari to San Javier del Bac. The Padres often made the long trip by foot or on horseback. Indians were stationed on the hill, and upon seeing the procession, ran down the hill to tell the others of the arrival. Hundreds of people welcomed the Padres to the mission that had once been theirs. Two prelates of the church, Reverend Daniel J. Girk, Bishop of Tucson, and Reverend Edmund Gibbons, Bishop of Albany, New York, joined in honoring the two pioneers. The love of a pet never dies. More people are providing their pets with funeral services, which can include cremation, blessings, chapel meditation, headstones, and caskets. At the Pet Cemetery of Tucson, owners are permitted to have their own cremains. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to say remains buried with their pet. Here, Milton the Burro rests with cats, dogs, snakes, potbelly pigs, and humans in the afterlife. I never thought that existed. That's the first time for me knowing that there's actually a pet cemetery. I thought that was just a movie. Like they say in the movie, bury your own. Alright. Between 1860 and 1875, Tucson's deceased were buried in a cemetery located at what is now the corner of Alameda and Stone Streets in downtown Tucson. Pima County exhumed more than 1,300 individuals between 2006 and 2008 in the course of construction in that area. About 1,200 were reburied at All Faith Cemetery in February 2010, and the remaining 100 were buried at other sites. Individuals were placed in separate containers and their names were etched on a wall. The dedication of the memorial for Tucson's historic cemetery took place on June 26, 2010, and blessings were bestowed by Bishop Gerald Kikanis, Rabbi Thomas Lauchheim, and Reverend John Lyle. At the end of the service, doves were released. All right. The grave closest to Oracle Road and Evergreen Cemetery are those of Arizona's most famous pioneers. Thomas Jonathan Jeffords was born on January 1st in 1832 and died on February 19th, 1914. In 1859, the New Mexico Territory, he served as an Army scout and a teamster. He contacted the Apache chief Cochise in order to secure safe passage for his freight wagons through Apache territory. They became friends, and Jeffords provided the opportunity for General Oliver to meet with Cochise in 1871 and 1872 to negotiate an end to the war. General Oliver O. Howard, Jeffords and Cochise's friendship were depicted in the 1950 movie Broken Arrow. Alrighty. The Aguirre family from Chihuahua settled in New Mexico in the 1850s and later moved to Arizona to earn fortunes as freighters along the Santa Fe Trail. After the railroad ruined the wagon freighting trade, they went on to become prominent Arizona ranchers, running more than 10,000 cattle per year on ranges near Tucson. Pedro Gary started the Buenos Aires Ranch, originally a stage stop, in 1864. Aguirre made Arivaca a stop on his stage line from Tucson to Altar, Sonora, Mexico, and also built the first schoolhouse in Arivaca on his own expense. Later went on to become a Pima County supervisor. The Aguirre family gravestone features a large scroll naming those who are buried beneath it. Pedro married Ana Maria Redondo, daughter of a former governor of Sonora. Pedro's brother Epifanio, the husband of Mary Mommy Bernard, was killed by Indians on a freighting trip. Mary's brother Noah Noni W. Bernard had followed her to Arizona. The massive Bernard tombstone features a scroll with the names of those making their final journey into eternity. It is adorned with a Greek column and acanthus leaves, which were used in funerary architecture as early in the 5th century BC. Wow. Noah Noni W. Bernard was born in Baltimore, Maryland on January 4th, 1853. In Westport, Missouri, Epifanio Aguirre married Noah's older sister, Mamie. When Epifanio, when okay, let me spit it out here. When Epifanio was killed, Mamie taught school while Noah established himself in business. Noah joined Pedro Aguirre in Arivaca in 1877. His store N.W. Bernard and Company carried general merchandise. Noah and John Bogan went into a partnership in the Arivaca Land and Cattle Company. Noah also served as the Pima County Supervisor, representative to the Territorial Legislative Assembly in 1895, and a representative from Tucson to the 21st and 22nd Legislative Assembly in 1901 and 1903. He died in 1907 at age 54. Samuel Hughes was born in Wales in 1829, came to the United States in 1837, and died in Tucson in 1917. He had no formal schooling, and when both of his parents died, he helped raise and educate his siblings. Hughes became a successful merchant during the California Gold Rush, but he developed tuberculosis and got off a stagecoach outside of Tucson in 1858, expecting to die. He recovered, though, and when Confederate forces occupied Tucson, he moved to California. He left his financial interest to a friend until 1862 when he accompanied Union soldiers to Arizona and later fell in love with 13-year-old Atanasia Santa Cruz. They had 15 children, 5 of whom died in infancy. Hughes is the namesake of a school and a neighborhood, and he died in 1917. The image I left shows Atanasia and Sam with one of their children. That's just one of their 15, guys. Jeez. You guys ever watch that show, Doubling Down with the Doricos? Damn, I thought these people had a lot of children, but jeez. Those people on the Doricos, damn, they take the cake. In the 1870s, Hughes helped to incorporate the city of Tucson, refused the position of mayor, and served as an alderman on Tucson's first city council. In 1871, he helped early territorial governor Anson P.K. Safford establish public education in the territory, an accomplishment he called the pride of his life. Hughes' simple tombstone belies the fact that he did so much for the city even while being afflicted with illness. Lewis Cameron Hughes, brother of Samuel Hughes, was born on May 15, 1842 in Philadelphia and died November 24, 1915 in Tucson. He served as governor of Arizona Territory and in 1877 started the Daily Bulletin, which eventually became the Arizona Daily Star. He grew up as an indentured servant to a Calvinist farmer. At age 16, his indenture ended. He was given $15 and sent out into the world, and he attended public schools in Meadville, Pennsylvania, before enlisting as a private during the Civil War. He earned a law degree. Like Sam, he had respiratory problems and moved to Arizona to help ease them. He was admitted to practice law before the Arizona Territorial Supreme Court. Ended politics and was elected to the Tucson City Council in 1872. Appreciate you guys being really patient. Thank you guys for sticking in there, man. I know this is going to be, even though there's very few chapters, that in between each of those chapters, there's quite a few pages. So I appreciate you guys being patient. Lewis Hughes was appointed territorial governor in 1893. Hey, Tapatíos, welcome. What's up, homie? He wanted to clean up the electoral process because voters were being bought with alcohol. He endorsed women's suffrage and the secret ballot and proposed a board of control for the territorial prison and the insane asylum. Hughes wanted to establish a board of immigration to encourage business to come to Arizona. In 1896, he reduced territorial debt and created a nonpartisan board of control before being removed from office in April of that year. He served on the University of Arizona Board of Regents in 1897 and returned to running his newspaper, the Arizona Daily Star. Theodore Roosevelt invited Hughes to the christening of the USS Arizona, but he refused because champagne was used in the ceremony. He is buried in Evergreen Cemetery near his wife Josephine and son Charles. guys, if you guys can hit that like button, let's hit that like button, guys. All right. Sidney Randolph DeLong, born on December 28, 1828 in New York, died November 24th, 1914 in Tucson. He served as a lieutenant in the Union Army during the Civil War and came to the Tucson with the military in 1861. Before Tucson incorporated as a town in 1871, the role of mayor had been an appointed position. When the town incorporated in 1871, DeLong became Tucson's first elected mayor. DeLong served as editor of the Southern Arizonian, which was established in 1859 from 1867 to 1869. He served in the Territorial Assembly and operated a trading post at Fort Bowie. DeLong enlisted as a private at Amador, California on August 18, 1861 and was mustered out February 19, 1863. And if you guys don't know what mustered means, it means discharged. I'm not sure if that's honorably or dishonorably discharged. I'm not sure when all that came into play, but mustered means discharged. And then transferred to Company B, Lieutenant DeLong was mustered out in New Mexico Territory on July 11, 1866. He was a Republican, and at the time of his death, he was the oldest Mason in Arizona. His grave reflects his membership in the Grand Army of the Republic, an organization instrumental in establishing Memorial Day. Okay, here we have Daniel E. Garvey, born on June 19, 1886 in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and died in Tucson on February 5, 1974. Served as governor of Arizona from 1948 to 1951. He was a railroad accountant in Mississippi before he moved to Arizona in 1909 and became involved in politics. Garvey became Pima County Treasurer in 1935 and Tucson City Treasurer in 1938. In 1940, he was hired as an assistant to the Secretary of State, Harry Moore. Upon Moore's death in 1942, Governor Sidney P. Osborne appointed Garvey to succeed Moore. Garvey assumed the governorship when Osborne died on May 25, 1948. That fall, he won a full term on the Democratic ticket. In 1950, Anna Fromhiller defeated Garvey in the Democratic primary. At the end of his elected term as governor, he was appointed Arizona Administrator for the Federal Reconstruction Finance Corporation. In 1955, Governor Ernest W. McFarland appointed him State Examiner, a post he held until his retirement in 1969. He returned to his business investments in Tucson upon leaving office in 1951. The modest tombstone marks the graves of Garvey and his wife and daughter, who were both named Thirza. Albert Steinfeld, born in Germany on December 23, 1854, died in Tucson. It was said that his first impression of Tucson moved him to tears. In 1872, he built one of the finest department stores in Tucson. and he's also served as president of the Consolidated National Bank of Tucson. Steinfeld was educated in New York City public schools. Beginning in 1869, he worked in a dry goods house for about 2 years before coming west. In Tucson, he became connected to Zeckendorf and Company, which was controlled by his uncles Adolf and Louis Zeckendorf. After several years, he was admitted to the firm as a resident partner and manager. Steinfeld was elected president of the Tucson Chamber of Commerce and later vice president of the Board of Trade when it replaced the Chamber of Commerce. He was prominent in Masonic affairs and was married to Bettina V. Donau on February 15, 1883 in Denver. Mary Paige Handy was born in 1860 and died in 1893. Her father, John Paige, was killed by Apache Indians, and her mother, Larcena Pennington, survived capture by the Apaches. Mary was 16 when she married Dr. John Handy, a prominent Tucson physician and surgeon for the U.S. Army at Camp Thomas. Dr. Handy moved to Tucson in 1871 and was selected as the first chancellor of the University of Arizona in November 1886. He abused Mary, chaining her to a bed in their home and administering morphine to her until she became addicted. Wow. 2 years later, he filed for divorce, accusing Mary of being a morphine fiend and a common slut. Wow. Shit. That is fucking terrible. That is no way to treat anybody, man. And just going around throwing her. Damn. He's calling her a slut, dude. I mean, he tied her up to the bed. Handy publicly stated that any lawyer who defended her would be sorry. In 1889, after Handy won the divorce trial and custody of their 5 children, he sent them to live with his mother. Wow. He tied her up to a bed and then got her addicted on morphine. Then later, made her out to be a slut. That is totally uncalled for. Alright. Mary Paige Handy. Handy tried to evict Mary from the home that the court had awarded her, and he protested the $30 a month alimony. On September 24th, 1891, he attacked her attorney on the streets of Tucson, and the attorney shot him in what was ruled as an act of self-defense. When Mary died of cancer in 1893, she had not seen her children for 2 years. She has a simple flat marker in Evergreen. Yeah, man, that is some deep shit. Bisbee. Um, he sent them to live with his mother. That's what it says. After he won the divorce trial and the custody. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he won the custody of their 5 children, yeah. So he sent them to live with his mother. That's just bad. Alright. Oh, yeah, man. You can only imagine how it was back then. Allen Brown James, born on December 4th, 1879 in Ohio, died in Tucson on November 7th, 1920. He became the editor and publisher of the Tucson Daily Citizen in 1910, when he and fellow Republicans James T. Williams Jr. and John B. Wright bought the Citizen and returned it to its Republican roots and editorial policy. The previous owners invested heavily in the paper, and James took advantage of those improvements. On February 4th, 1912, fire struck the Citizen. The paper, which had been campaigning for Arizona statehood, hoped to be the first newspaper in the state to herald the state joining the Union. The Arizona Daily Star allowed the Citizen to use its printing press until it could install a new one. Jane's name is also associated with Jane's Station Road. On February 14th, 1912, the Tucson Daily Citizen announced Arizona's statehood. In 1914, the paper moved to a building at the corner of Stone Street and Jackson Avenue. Its eighth relocation in 30 years, it remained there for 26 years. Allen Brown Jane's wife, Catherine Feehan Janes, was born in 1880 in Kentucky and died in Tucson in 1951. After Janes died in November 1920, Catherine took over control of the paper and put her son Oliver in charge. Oliver, however, had been poisoned by mustard gas in World War I and was frequently ill and absent from work. Allen and Catherine Janes and their son Willis are buried in Evergreen Cemetery. Oscar Ashburn, born in 1856, died in Tucson in 1924. The Ashburn family is buried under the double-headed eagle, a symbol that has roots in the Crusades and that in Scottish Rite Freemasonry signifies the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. The number 32 inside the triangle represents the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite. The Latin motto "Spes mea in Dio est" means "My hope is in God." Frank Sutherland's wife, Sophia, and their two children are pictured at left. Sutherland, born December 29, 1883 in Florence, Arizona, died June 20th, 1917 in Tucson. He married Sophia Elias, who was born in Arizona on September 28, 1882, and died in Tucson on April 29, 1959. On January 13, 1899, William H. Sutherland was appointed guardian for Ray and Frank Sutherland, who were minors. Their estate consisted of 350 head of horned cattle. On November 17, 1916, the Tucson Citizen carried an advertisement announcing that Frank O. Sutherland was running for Pima County Sheriff. Frank was a property owner and taxpayer who was interested in everything related to the welfare and prosperity of the state. Fully aware that laws were being openly violated, especially those forbidding gambling and liquor distribution, he pledged that, if elected, he would devote his efforts to the eradication of these disgraceful behaviors. Frank lost the election by a small margin. He served as undersheriff to John Nelson, who was his ranching partner. Hey, Karen Ann, welcome in. Good to have you here. In 1917, Frank became ill and went to California to see physicians. However, he returned very disheartened with his illnesses still undiagnosed. Tucson physicians decided he had appendicitis. The day before his surgery, at St. Mary's Hospital, he made his will. He died the following day after his operation, at the age of 34. Sutherland was a member of the Elks, and the funeral was held under the auspices of the organization, with a large number of Elks attending. Frank and Sophia's ranch is now part of the Miraval Spa. Their tombstone in Evergreen Cemetery is a massive display of swirling shells and features the logo of Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks. John Nelson was born in Sweden on November 11, 1868, and died on December 24, 1947 in Tucson, where he had served as a Pima County Sheriff and was a rancher. He was a territorial sheriff for 2 terms and had the distinction of becoming the first state Pima County Sheriff when Arizona was granted statehood in 1912. On January 21st, 1913, during Nelson's tenure as Pima County Sheriff, Deputy Joe W. Meeks was shot and killed by Calistro Villarreal. Villarreal fled to Mexico, and Nelson had a posse chased him but came back empty-handed. Nelson jailed stockbroker Frank O'Brien for swindling W.V. Elliott out of $2,000, which was supposed to have been used to purchase stock in the Ray Consolidated Mining Company. O'Brien had a passion for poker and wanted to break into Tucson's exclusive circles. Yeah. Hey, it's all right. It's all right. Henry Buman, born on May 15th, 1851 in Germany, died in Tucson on December 19th, 1912. He and his family dominated professional photography in Tucson for 3 generations. He opened a portrait studio in 1874, and his son Albert took it over in 1913. Henry's grandson Remick began running the business in 1946. Buman served as a mayor of Tucson, and in 1897 he complained that the Tucson streets were filthy and needed a general cleanup. The Arizona Historical Society's photograph collection contains over 250,000 negatives taken by the Buman family between 1874 and 1960. In 1882, Henry Buman married Estelle Morehouse, a school teacher and the founder of Tucson's first kindergarten. Estelle was born in Portland, Michigan on September 28, 1846, and was of New York Dutch ancestry on her mother's side, and Scotch and English on her father's side. She traveled west to teach school and ended up in Tucson, where she met Henry. She returned to Michigan and spent the summer preparing for her wedding. Immediately after the wedding, the Bumans left for a honeymoon in Canada. Estelle died in 1916. In November, the Bumans returned to Tucson and settled down in a home. Hey, realist, welcome in, brother. Good to have you here, man. Yes, to join in on the history class. Estelle took charge of the portrait studio when her husband Henry was out of town. She worked with him in the reception room of their studio, which was located above the Tucson Post Office on Congress Street. You go ahead and hit that like button, guys. Everybody that's joined in, if you haven't already, appreciate it. Much love. George Kendall Smith was born on May 16, 1870 in Carlisle, England, and died on May 24, 1937 in Tucson. His wife, Victoria Shaw, was born in California. George learned the dyer trade before immigrating to Los Angeles with an uncle. He subsequently opened his own business in Phoenix and finally settled in Tucson, where he operated the American Cleaning Company. Besides serving as mayor of Tucson during the Great Depression, Smith was a member of the volunteer fire department, the Elks, the Rotary Club of Tucson, the Tucson Merchants Association, and the Tucson Sunshine Club. In 1931, he was elected mayor of Tucson and oversaw the rewriting of the city charter. When he took office, the city budget was $15,000 in arrears, but at the end of his term, the city was in the black. Gertrude and William Florsheim's tombstones are among the most beautiful in Tombstone's Evergreen Cemetery. The Florsheims were natives of Germany. Gertrude, the sister of Leo Goldschmidt, was born August 12, 1840 and died on October 31st, 1917. William was born in born on July 17, 1837 and died on July 14, 1889. In the Jewish faith, The drapery or veil covered the Ark of the Covenant to protect mortals from its radiance. The Hebrew symbols commonly found on Jewish graves, Sepol Nikbar, meaning here lies. The Arizona Rangers Agency was created by the Arizona Territorial Legislature in 1901, disbanded in 1909, recreated as a volunteer group in 1957. The Rangers were an elite, well-trained group mounted on quality horses and equipped with modern weapons. They dealt with outlaws along the Mexican border. James D. Bailey enlisted at age 33 and served from 1903 to 1905. Damn. Anna Sullinger served as a Pima County recorder for 18 consecutive terms and died in 1970, just 2 weeks after announcing her retirement. She was 84 years old and living in a home that her mother built in 1908. Norman Cannon, born in England on February 25, 1885, died in Tucson on December 13, 1934. The British actor and author was fondly remembered by his brother and sister in England. Got Jesus Camacho was born on April 22, 1883 in a house near St. Mary's Road and Grande Avenue. He died in Tucson on February 20th, 1949. Camacho was known in Tucson as the mayor of Myers Street. During a 26-year career that began in 1910, he held every position on the police force, from rookie to acting chief. Jesus Camacho captured one big-time criminal and killed 2 men in the line of duty. He walked the beat on Myers Street before becoming a mounted patrolman. He and his horse, Babe, were well known in Tucson. In 1926, he had a misunderstanding with Chief of Police Jack Dyer and opened up his own detective agency. They eventually straightened out matters and Camacho rejoined the force. When he died in 1949 at age 66, a mass was held for him at St. Augustine Cathedral. Jesus and his wife, Ramona Camacho, are buried in Holy Hope Cemetery. Here we have his grave here, Jesus and Ramona. Pictured here are Atanasio Santa Cruz Hughes, Guadalupe Santa Cruz de Martinez, and Petra Santa Cruz Stevens. Guadalupe was the aunt of the 2 orphan sisters. Atanasio was born in Tucson on August 14, 1850, when it was part of Mexico. Died on November 12, 1934. She and her sister Petra were raised by their aunt Guadalupe after their parents died. Atanasio married Samuel Hughes on May 27, 1863 at Mission San Javier del Bac. Atanasio died at St. Mary's Hospital in 1934 from an intestinal obstruction. Her sister Petra Santa Cruz Stevens was born on October 19, 1848 and died on July 30, 1916. She was buried at Holy Hope. In 1893, depressed over business setbacks, Petra's husband, Hiram Stevens, shot Petra and then killed himself. Wow. Shit. That's crazy. She's not to be buried near her husband. He is buried Damn it. Oh, shit. I was about to fucking sneeze. I hate those ones you can't even get out, man. Oh, man. Yeah, man. In the image at left, Pima County Sheriff neighbor Pacheco is standing on the top near leading up to the gallows. He was born November 11th, 1861 and died there on February 14th, 1920. He died from acute uremia at his home in 337 South 6th Avenue. Navor Pacheco was the first native Tucsonan to be elected Pima County Sheriff. He served as a Tucson police officer and a constable before serving 2 terms as sheriff. His engraved Colt 45 revolver is on display at the Arizona Historical Society. In 1908, he performed 2 hangings within a month, and he was largely responsible for having legal actions moved to the state prison in Florence. After leaving office in 1909 for 8 years as Tucson's chief of police. I hope back then the Tucson police, they were not crooked like they are now. The Tucson police, boy, they're terrible. Alrighty. And this is a photograph of young Louis Doan. Tucson's Binghamton Cemetery is a Mormon cemetery, and Louisa Matilda Hogg Abig Dunn was a Binghamton pioneer. In Germany, the Hogg family was financially comfortable with a lovely home and servants. Louisa believed in the truthfulness of the Mormon gospel, and at age 13 she sought baptism. Because of Mormon persecution, the baptism took place in the middle of the night through broken ice on the Neckar River. Okay. Louise Dunn served as the Binghamton Relief Society secretary for 22 years. She was an avid genealogist, researching her German ancestors, and she worked in the LDS temples in Utah and Arizona. She lived to age 96 and died in Binghamton in 1965. She is buried in the Binghamton Cemetery. Elgin Ball was born on June 26, 1916 and died on May 26, 2008. The old whitetail hunter is waiting for his wife. Alright, guys. Yeah, this will be the last chapter tomorrow. Santa Cruz County Graves and Cemeteries. So, if you guys are from Santa Cruz counties, I will be doing that a read tomorrow. That will be the last of it, until I can give me another book. They have several of these Images of America books there at the local library here, which is pretty awesome. Oh yeah, dude. Man. Yeah, those this chapter that I just read and the one before it, man, that was quite a read. And it's quite a few pages on it, even though there were just about 5 chapters in it. It was quite the read for those 2 chapters. But tomorrow we'll be finishing 5, which is Santa Cruz County's cemeteries and graveyards. You guys have any questions? Any comments? 8 hours? I don't think that's not that far, man. Not 8 hours. At least 3 or 4 hours, but not 8. That's kind of far, man. Depends on how fast you're driving too. You guys have any questions, comments, or anything? And if you guys haven't, please hit that like button. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you guys all coming in. Bisbee News, Karen, Tapatios. I I have a request. If they have the one about the Bisbee deportation, maybe next time. Actually, I did see something on Images of America in Bisbee, so I actually thought about checking that one out as soon as I get this one taken back to the library. But I'm gonna look through that whole section they have at the library and make sure and check on that Bisbee deportation. Okay. All right, guys. If you guys want to drop each other's links one more time before I shut down the stream, yeah, man, I appreciate everybody, man. It really means a lot, dude. I'm not a really big channel, but hey, I'm trying, man. But if you guys want to stick around, we got a train coming through. It's the one good part about doing the live stream is that we always have the train coming through here. Karen, you are now a mod. Guys, go ahead and shut it down here. I appreciate all of you for joining in and supporting the channel. All that support really means a lot, guys. That you don't know how much that means. It truly does. But go ahead and hit that like button, guys, one more time, just in case you didn't before. Yeah, don't be out too late. We have curfew. No. Um, I just want to thank you guys for all coming in and you know supporting the channel, guys. But that being said, this is Jose G right here in Wilcox, guys, at the historic Railroad Avenue Park. This is Rex Allen Sr., guys. Which one of our streets is named after? I think it overheated. Are you guys still? Give me a thumbs up, guys, just to make sure. Yeah, I felt my phone start warming up. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down here. This is Jose G and Wilcox. Peace out, guys.